University of Kentucky Rugby, an up-and-comer in the Southeastern Rugby Conference. Here's our spotlight with Director of Rugby, Gary Anderson. Gary, thank you for taking the time to talk with me.
My pleasure.
You know, you guys seem to have a very solid subset of coaching staff with a lot of continuity. You know, how was it that you guys all got together? How did this all end up coming together?
Actually, it's a really long story, and I'll shorten it down the best that I can. But in 2010, myself, Larkin, our assistant coach, and Vince Gross, our backs coach, played for the Lexington Blackstones here, and we made it basically the Final Six national championship for Division III. And Tony was our head coach at the time for the Blackstones. And we made that big run, and after that, we all kind of decided that we're going to hang up our cleats, and Tony started coaching the UK. And Tony's a very experienced coach. He spent many years playing and coaching over in England, and then came over here in the early 90s and started his own business and was playing a little bit of rugby and coaching. But anyway, long story short, we were all playing for the Blackstones, and then Tony left and started coaching UK, and then asked myself and Vincent Larkin if we would be interested, since we weren't playing anymore, to help coach. And that's kind of how that all came about. As far as the style goes, Tony was a very skilled flanker, 8-man. I played flanker. And so that's kind of where we set the tone from, is, you know, our flankers and our 8-man really pounding it up, being aggressive. And then from there, Vince Gross is one of the best sevens players, one of the best rugby players I've ever played with. So he's really able to, teach the backs a lot. So it's been a real combination, but we've been together as players and a coaching staff since probably 2004 when we started playing with the Blackstones, and then have carried it all the way to now. So it's been probably 11 or 12 years of the 4 or 5 of us being together. So, we know each other well. We know what our hot buttons are. We know what to push, when not to push, and how to work with each other. So that really helps a lot, I think.
Now, you guys have a scholarship program. Can you elaborate a little bit about how it works? Is it something similar to the way University of South Carolina's rugby program scholarship works, very academically based, or does it differ?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, the university offers some really great academic scholarships for a lot of our out-of-state students, which is where most of our recruits come from, that allow, an out-of-state student from Columbus or Cleveland or various different states to basically come here for in-state tuition. So we have that aspect of it, which is really nice. As far as the individual rugby scholarships go, our general plan is that we're going to add one each year over the next handful of years, so hopefully we'll get up to about 10 of them. And I think that's where we're going to be at for the time being. It's a constant battle to make sure we're growing the program, and those scholarships really help that. They're generally for players that are already here, guys that have already put in the time and put in the commitment. It's just kind of an added bonus for them. Helps kind of cover some of the rent, cover some of the book costs, cover some of the tuition costs going forward.
You guys have had the pleasure of being able to host a number of Atavist high-performance training camps. How do you guys feel you're able to take advantage of that? Do you guys think it's something that you guys utilize to be able to attract more high school students to recruit to University of Kentucky? Or is it something that you guys use to just be able to improve the skill of your current players?
It's really been a combination of both. Shalom reached out to us this last year and has talked to us quite a bit, and has helped us build some of the program and has got to know some of our players. So we definitely like to send our kids there so they can get an experience of what it takes to be an elite rugby player, and they can bring that back and teach some of our guys that are up and coming what they need to do as far as watching film, working out, eating, dieting, various different things. But we also love it for the recruits as well. We always send 2 or 3 kids each year to one of those camps, and the alumni pay for it, which usually costs somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,500 to $2,000. So we always use that as a recruiting tool as well. If you come down and play for Kentucky and you put in the kind of work that it takes to be a high-level player, those are the camps we'll send you to help hone your skills. And I think that's a big benefit for present players and recruits as well.
What is it that you guys look for in your recruits for rugby?
Well, I spend, probably 3 months just about every weekend towards the end of the high school season and into the summer all-star camps, watching games. I mean, watching 3, 4, 5, 6 games a day at some of these tournaments. And, get to know the players, get to know the coaches, get to know the parents. And I really try to find the players that are passionate about rugby. They want to come to school to get an education first and foremost, but secondly, play rugby. They're not looking to necessarily join fraternities and do a lot of that aspect. They want to play rugby, and they want to take rugby to the highest level they can, whether that, hopefully someday be for U.S. Eagles, but for a lot of these national teams, maybe play in Seattle, maybe play for the New York Athletic Club. Kids that want to play rugby want to play at the highest level, because I know when I get them in here, they're going to be practice 3 days a week kind of kids. They're going to do the extra work. They're going to watch the game film. They're not just going to be casual players. Now, there's a place for casual players, obviously, and that's why we have two sides. But I really want to bring in a lot of these higher-level players that can help us get there. So it's just a matter of getting to know them, not just meeting them once, but getting to know them a dozen times, going out and having dinner with their parents, and just really getting to know them on a more personal level to find out what it is that drives them. And I think that makes a big difference.
Gary, thank you very much for taking the time. I wish you guys the best of luck. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's always my pleasure. We appreciate all the things you do, for rugby itself. As rugby continues to grow, it takes a lot of media to help build the program up and get us where we need to be, and you've been a big part of that over the last couple of years. And we greatly appreciate everything you do for our program and for rugby in the States as well. Yeah!